Thanks, Debs. Okay, so just before we go to the specialist exam, now today is going to be quite tricky because we've actually got 4 specialist exams to go over. So we are going to leave the actual quiz section open for a little bit longer so that you can take more time. And I know Paul is always keen to get his questions done as quickly as possible. So we're going to give you more time up until 6 o'clock tonight, or basically 2 hours from now. All right. So what I wanted to just share with you is a project that I've just started working on. There's all sorts of requirements. And one of the reasons why I started working on is I've been asked, there was a question from the NDMO when I'm doing a review. This is in Saudi, to basically say that do the specifications cover are they complete, and do they cover all the deliverables? So what I'm needing to do is to go through all the version 2 specifications and say, okay, it creates this deliverable, this deliverable, this deliverable. What's the metadata? Are we all complete? And so this was the initiation of the project. Okay, so next month we'll spend it on this template project. So I'm just going to go through this with you, and I'm just going to stick to this slide. You'll see that when we do it starting next Thursday, we'll go through the different areas, and this is what I'd like to just share with you quickly. And basically saying why does data management require a unified meta model? Okay. And the very first thing that we need is there's no ways to do a comprehensive and high quality DMMA if you don't have a set of well-defined benchmark deliverables with evidence that you can compare against. So we were talking to Arun earlier on there to be able to say, when we do these assessments, we should be able to say, okay, have you delivered this specification? All right, to deliver the specification, I need these outputs. And then do you have a good practice, a procedure to do it? And then do you have a scorecard to review it? So these are the things that we need to be able to conduct a comprehensive DMMA. Then what's also important is building a unified meta model. So if we do this, we can then almost store the results of each deliverable. We can create a meta model of all the deliverables and how they relate to each other. And then, of course, we can store this data in a knowledge graph and to be able to review everything from the data catalog to the data dictionary to the business glossary. And then the final one is education. So I'm sure you all know, but you've all got to do education of your data stewards and make sure that your data professionals can also perform the task that's required to be done the way that it needs to be done. Okay, so all of those practices, policies, and procedures you need to get right. So the scope of this project is every deliverable in the DMBOK. And then there are some custom deliverables, being the ones that are missing, for example, a data people strategy or a business deliverable. How do we link this to business architecture via the value proposition? Those are also ones that we need to relate to, but not there. Then the scope is creating a deliverable meta model for every single deliverable. And this is important. What are the critical data elements of the meta model, and what's the quality scorecard? Okay. And then also a data management unified meta model that defines all of these interdependencies. Okay. Now, this is a document that I've got in terms of quantifying the scope. And you can see here, we're talking about 139 templates that are required. I've already completed 13, and there's 17 knowledge areas, and we've got 126 to do. So these are the numbers: 17 knowledge area, 139 data management templates. Now you've got to multiply that by 3 because you need the template, the scorecard, and the procedure. Now, I know every week people are saying, do you have a template for this? Have you got, can you show me how to do this? What about policies, principles, procedures? And I know Henny's sitting on here and Paul's just been through a maturity assessment on some organizations and saying, okay, show me the evidence, show me the procedures, show me the scorecard. Without this, you really battle. It's just about impossible to get to a level 3. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to build this thing for the community. And we want to resource the project. These are the current resources. Our diesel will provide scope, quality review, and template development. Mr. Bolton's going to be doing project management and template development. Veronica will be doing template development and training. So Veronica will be building a training course on how to create these deliverables, roles and responsibilities. And then we're looking for professionals. And I see Hashan has actually offered to be able to help us create the templates as well as the scorecards, and then for an organization to build a DMMA framework. Now, please, this is also applicable to the NDMO, because the NDMO, as I said, I'm doing the review and I'm mapping every single deliverable, and they want an answer to say, are we comprehensive? Do we have everything that needs to be done? Okay. And then, so what are the benefits for Modelware? We got this template library and we've got all these definitions. We can create training for the professional. We will provide access to the templates. Now, we're busy looking at T's and C's. So some of the thinking is if you provide more than 2 templates per domain, we'll give you access to all the templates for that domain. For example, data security, data privacy, data catalog, metadata, and then for the organization, we'll look at a DMMA framework where you can be able to show people the evidence that we're looking at. Okay. So just to give you a brief look at what these things look like, there's the scope, all the up and down, the horizontal lineage and data flows, the vertical data flows, a unified meta model that looks something like this. And this is just the beginning of how a business term that's part of a glossary that relates to an ontology is mapped to a logical entity, which is mapped to a data set, which is part of a data catalog, which is classified, which has a data element and an access policy and things like that with business processes. So you can see how we put all this stuff together, plus a whole lot of vocabulary standards with data quality reviews. How do we build this stuff? There you can see a data set has data quality dimensions that map to a metric, which is part of our data quality expectation, which is a dimension. And this is the way in which we build everything. And then hopefully we get a knowledge graph at the end. That's how we can put all the stuff together. Okay, so if you'd like to, please put in the chat or contact Paul or myself, and we'd love to get you involved and work with you in building these templates. And this is sort of what the Excel spreadsheet looks like. That's how we build it all with the appropriate deliverables and links and scorecards and dependencies and chains and things like that. So that's what we're going after. But I do not want to waste too much time on that. Jonathan, thank you very much. There are a couple of you that have shown interest. That's great. So let's get back to the specialist exam. So please, this is going to be the month of September. We'll be focusing on these data management unified meta model or templates. Okay. So coming back, our specialist exam. Okay. And these are the different specialist exams. Now we've done a few of them already. And those are the courses that we do to help you support that, plus the fundamentals, what's the critical success factors. So we've done on the 3rd of August and the 10th of August, we did data governance and data modeling. Then we went to data quality, and now we are doing these ones down the bottom here. Now, the problem I've had is that I've found it just about impossible. Well, not just about. actually impossible to find the exam categories that the fundamentals give us, that I got there for data governance, that I got for data modeling, for data quality. I can't find the categories or that ranking, like it's 11% for data governance and 11% for metadata and 11% for data modeling. I can't find those things, but I can find you the actual core elements of the exam, and I'm going to take you through that at the moment. So there was a question from Amol to say, can you please tell us which is the best paid and free tool to use for metadata modeling? Okay, now metadata modeling, I like to use and develop those ontologies, and the free tool for me, I'm not saying it's the best tool, but I tend to use the free tools. That's called Protege. So if you are interested, the way in which we design ontologies is called Protege. Now, all those things that we had there, DCAT, SCOS, PROV, those are ontologies and taxonomies, RDFs. Okay. Hopefully you can see the scenario. Okay, great. So let's get to this one, data warehousing. Okay, our first one. All right, so these are the key topics. Basically, you need to understand the reference model for data warehousing and business intelligence. Okay, then the differences between business intelligence, data warehousing, enterprise data warehousing, both in disciplines and the software environments. Okay, so those are different areas. Remember, business BI is the analytical side of it. Okay, it's almost that front end come calculation type software. Okay, the benefits and application of BI, the key components, or what they refer to as the chessboard. You remember, they move the chess pieces when we go from transforming the data from the application into staging, integration, whatever it is. Those are the different things that you need to be aware of. And then those styles, the Kimball and Inman approaches, you need to know that. You will also find Data Vault coming in here. That's something that I did. I've done the BI. I got my master's. Data Vault comes in there. So if you're looking for some understanding, I probably can share some with you when we've got some time. Okay, learn how to create and apply a dimensional data model. Okay, now that also relates to data modeling. So make sure you understand those cross knowledge areas. It is important. How do you assess your current BI readiness? Understanding a maturity model. And you'll see this all over. You'll see it in metadata. You'll see it in DII. And the question is, what is the maturity assessment for the different knowledge areas? Visualization approaches, understanding DII integration that's required by data warehousing, the reporting analytical styles, okay? And then we've got the roles and suitability of the different technology approaches in addressing the BI need, okay? Then there's big data analytics. So please remember that BI and big data and data science comes in to the BI exam. There are not a lot of questions. I think, if I remember correctly, there were about 3 or 4 questions on big data. So I was a little bit disappointed, but that's what it is. Okay, those are the key topics. Now, when you're ready, and if you're interested, that is the exam. So please remember, if you'd like to, if you want to join, I'm going to pause here for a little bit. Can everyone just join the Canvas course that we've got, and then you'll see the BI practice quiz. Paul, why don't you just check if you can get in and write? I know that Veronica opened it. I just want to confirm that it is open. Can everyone get access to it?
Just testing now.
Okay.
Second. So
you should be able to see this.
Is
okay.
Closed.
Is it closed?
Yeah, maybe the dates need to shift.
Okay, I think we tried to get 17th of August. Okay, 16th. Oh, it's no wonder. No, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I thought Veronica had changed that. Ooh, I wonder where the quizzes are. Veronica?
I thought I did. Hold on a seckie. Let me check.
Oh, yeah, this is DIY. Okay, I'm just going to change the settings. Okay, that should be today, and we are going to end tomorrow. Let's just set it up for now and do the updates. Paul,
Could've
can you
sworn
check
I
if you can
changed
get in
it.
now?
Yeah, in.
Fantastic.
Wait,
So
wait,
what we're
sorry,
saying
sorry.
now,
I just refreshed. Hold on, let me just.
okay,
It didn't do as expected. Let me just try again. Can you just show that QR code again, please?
okay, sorry. Here we go. Everybody in? Those who want to get in?
Stay, enroll. To pause.
Are you going in for the first
Yes.
time, Paul?
No, it wasn't letting me in. It kicked in, then it didn't. It kicked out my password. But I'm in now, and I can see CDMP data warehouse, reference and
Okay.
master, all of that.
All right. So today it's going to be these last four. Okay. These are the last four that we've created for you. And you can do that testing. We will leave it open till about 6 o'clock tonight, or give you about an hour and a half. Okay. All right, so that's Mr. Data Warehousing and BI. Any questions on that? Henny, I'm sure this is one that you should be doing.
Yes, sorry, it's been on my to-do list for a while, but I think my fundamentals expired, so I need to do the refresher first. Yeah,
You don't have to. You can do this one and then come back. I mean, I think it's helpful to do the refresher, because then you go through all the knowledge areas and you can see these jump across knowledge areas. So that is helpful. But
right.
you just to be aware of the fact that you don't have to. You can do any one of the specialists at the time that you want.
So it's not a prerequisite to move on to a specialist and then revisit the fundamentals.
No, you can actually go to the Veronica. I'm sure you're listening, and you would shout if I was talking
I would.
nonsense.
You can do the exams in any order that you want. The important thing is that if you get a master pass in whatever you get a master pass, that master pass will last 3 years.
Okay.
And so you have to complete your 3 exams. Otherwise, that master pass will revert to being an associate, and then you have to rewrite.
So yeah, I think that's my scenario. So I got a master pass. So yeah, I think worthwhile doing the refresher. But I'll just touch base with you guys.
Okay.
Any, you should we've got a whole lot of practice quizzes. $29, I believe, and it's something like 321 practice questions that really prepare you well for that fundamentals. So
Okay.
there's been some nice improvements there.
Right, I'll check in with you guys. Thanks, Howard.
Fantastic, Debbie. Okay, now it's Mr. Master Data. Okay, the core elements of this exam. Basically the definitions. What is master data? And then the difference between master and reference data. Building a business case. Remember, data quality also had the same thing. How do we build a business case? Then the next one is finding the data subject areas aligned to business initiatives to start the MDM. Who can remember how to do that? There's a slide in our fundamentals that we show the dependencies, and that can be used. Who can remember that? Any volunteers on how to answer this question? volunteers? Paul, do you remember? I think he's writing the quiz and he's not listening.
Sorry, I did do that. I was silly. I
Okay.
closed it. I'll stop.
Okay, sorry, man.
That's-
Okay, so
But
Paul, do you remember how to find data subject areas to start your data management program? What's the data architecture technique for this?
yes, now you put me on the spot. I'm all hot and bothered now.
Okay, sorry.
Um,
Right, maybe Veronica remembers.
Zachman framework is used to define data architecture. Am I right?
Yes, it is. But
It's
there's
your
a special. Sorry.
critical data elements.
Oh, so remember in data architecture where you map the dependencies of your business capabilities, where you say this one's dependent on that, which is dependent on that. And the ones that have the least dependencies, that's your master data. The ones that have the most dependency, that's your BI. Okay. Do you remember that now, Paul?
I see the picture in my head, yes.
Veronica, does that make sense?
I also see the picture in my head, yes.
Okay. And those who don't see the picture in the head, I think it's in the reference slides. Okay, so that's the important one. Please be aware of that. Then, how do we build this incremental master data management implementation plan? And this is part of the data subject areas on the dependencies. So which domains do you do first? Okay, and of course you want to be doing those domains that have the least dependencies. Typically, a good example of that is product domain or customer domain. There's very, there's very little areas that are dependent on that one. Okay, then we've got the different types of master data architectures. There we can see from that fully centralized hub through hybrid to virtualized. Be careful of that one, Veronica. Remember, we found this question in one of the CDMP exams of a master data architecture which was virtualized. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay, we were trying to work out why that question was there or what this virtualized architecture is, and that's almost where you can create this virtual model in Denoda or virtualize the different areas, and you can bring it in, and then you can share data from there. Okay, so this is an approach that you can use. All right. Then we've also got a reference architecture model for master data and reference data. Typical components, identifying and selecting the right tooling, further MDM architecture, single domain, multiple domain, the advantages of either one. So this is just to give you a simple example. Single domain, meaning product. I would buy a product for, buy some technology or tool for the product domain. Okay, now you also get the ability to buy a tool for multi-domain, meaning that it can build any domain. Okay, the benefit you get out of single domains is that it's geared for that domain and it's got all sorts of processes and data models and stuff like that. Multi-domain, they basically give you this open thing and you build it, all the stuff that you need. Okay, so what's the most appropriate for you? And then we've got implementation styles. Who remembers the difference between operational MDM and analytical MDM? Anyone want to have a guess? To attend our courses. Operational master data is when we basically build a master data system to bring the data in from the applications and then keep all the applications up to date. Okay, so we basically consolidate that thing and then we make sure that the applications have got the right level of quality and master data and reference data. Okay, analytical master data is, yes, we bring it in from the applications, but then it's about pushing it downstream from the master data to the data warehouse, to the dimensions, to the data marts. Okay, so that's the different type of master data system that you're dealing with. And then what are the benefits that you get? What are the impacts? Okay, so of course, if your problem's sitting, and this is all the business case, if your problem's sitting in the analytical side, then that's where you're going to start in that situation. If your problem is trying to get all your applications and the sharing of data and your applications right, then you go for an operational analytical, operational master data system. Okay, so these are the different terminologies. We will be sharing this deck, so you'll be able to come back to it. Okay, important elements. Learn how to identify what should be mastered. This is the big thing. Please be careful. You don't just jump into master data management because of the challenges of getting it right. So do you have a master data problem? If you don't have a master data problem, why are you tackling it? Okay. The 4 different generic architectures and their suitability, how to undertake and maturity assessment, considering business processes as well, and then also discover approaches to incrementally implement master data to align to business priorities. Okay, so one of those things is that you really don't need to bring all 2,500 data elements into a master data domain. Remember, if you take a customer 360, I can come in not with the whole stuff. I can actually break it up into sets and then bring the master data in. All right, so just these are the different areas. These are my implementation styles. This is from Gartner. The capabilities that you need to be aware of, what each tool provides you with. The domains, there's always those questions on the different domains. And there is your quiz. Okay, so this is, if you would like to go back to it, that's a quiz that you need to do. All right, data integration and interoperability, the specialist exam here. Okay, what are we trying to address? Now, who remembers that one of the difference between point-to-point and then the ability to come into a canonical or a ESB, and this thing of point-to-point is where all the systems connect to each other, and then after a while they start to deteriorate because we can't upgrade because this one's dependent on that one and this one's dependent on there, and all of a sudden everything gets stuck down at the lowest common denominator, and then we have certain challenges. Okay, so it's that flexibility and the ability to share the information whilst dealing with all loosely coupled type of requirements as well. Okay, what is the difference between integration and interoperability? So integration is that movement and consolidation, and interoperability is the communication between systems. Different styles of integration. There we had the hub and point-to-point, and then the role and applicability of the canonical model. Okay, so the canonical model is the definition of all shared data within the organization. And then the benefit we have is that all applications just need to know how to translate their data to the canonical model and back again. Okay, so they just need to learn one model. They don't need to learn different interfaces or whatever it is from all the different areas. Okay, different use cases on the different approaches, and then issues and implementation. So example, point-to-point, if you don't have more than 2 applications, then don't get into fancy canonical model enterprise service bus. It takes too long. Okay, data federation and virtualization, the sharing, API architecture, and then this is the big one where DII impacts and has an impact on all other knowledge areas. So also you need to be aware of those relationships. There is your practice quiz. Okay. Any questions on DII? I think you're going very quickly and everyone seems very comfortable. It feels like I think you've jumped off to write the exams already.
No, my hands are here.
Fantastic. Alrighty. Okay, now let's go to metadata management. Okay. What is metadata? Now, I'm sure you've seen with this unified meta model that we're talking about is basically a definition of all of the elements for all the data management products that describe and use to describe and build our data assets. Okay. distinguishing between the different types of metadata. So yes, the DMBOK 2 refers to business, technical, and operational, but there are these other types of metadata, and somehow they keep on asking them. And then there's this discover how to capture, distribute, and exploit metadata. The business benefit that we get, what do we get out of it? Okay, and how do we measure it? Then the awareness of the huge array of disparate sources. I always laugh sometimes when I put the different data sources up for metadata, and it's just about everything. And it's okay, so okay, I'm not sure what the slide is saying to us other than it's this huge array of disparate data sources. And what you're trying to do is almost build a meta model per tool type, source type. Okay, who remembers that hybrid model, the hybrid architecture on metadata? So we had the centralized, and then we had the distributed, and then we have the hybrid, and there's almost a meta model per tool type or source. Then the key industry standards, please. This is important. Okay, how to exchange metadata between components of your architecture. Okay, so it's that ISO 11179, it's the BCBS 239, even things like SDMX, which is statistical data and metadata exchange. Discover why a business glossary is a significant enabler. This is where we cross over to data governance. And then big data technologies and metadata. Okay, what happens when those data lakes don't have any metadata? What starts to happen, and how do we stop it from, how do we prevent it from happening? Okay, here we can see the different, the value of metadata, the collection, storing and dissemination, the different types. The benefits that we get from a metadata strategy. So now, because the sources are so wide, I like to do that prioritization in terms of by tool types. So where are we going to start? Typically, you're going to be starting with your glossary, and then maybe your data catalog and data dictionary, and then one's going to start going into the areas of BI and data lineage and ETL. Depends on your business. So you got to understand where you're going. Okay. Metadata standards and exploitation of data models. So how would we bring the data model as an example? The data model plus the business glossary, the data model can be used to create a business glossary. And it can certainly be used to generate, if you got your glossary linked to your dictionary, you can generate your data catalog. So there's ways of benefiting from that glossary. Okay, the different roles of metadata in data governance, understanding that framework, and I'm sure you've seen all of the stuff that the data management project template, that's what data governance needs to do. We need to understand what the metadata we're going to collect, how we're going to score the artifacts, how we're going to evaluate it, how we're going to do a maturity assessment. These are the things. Now, also here, there's lots of this real world examples. Okay, so what's a real world example of metadata, and how do we use it? Okay. Pitfalls of metadata in big data technologies, or the gap. Okay, so that's talking about that data swamp issue, or not understanding the metadata, and when big data needs to do alignment between data sets and alignment to master data, there's lots of challenges that they face when they can't do those alignments. So if they get multiple CSVs, all of them having a column called quantity, is it the same field? Or is it something else? And who knows, especially when you get the data from the outside world. If you don't have a definition, we've got some problems. Okay, tagging data for retrieval. Exam tips. Make sure you understand this metadata in the world around you. Okay, all things in the DMBOK, how does it relate to all things non-digital metadata and international metadata standards? Okay. And there is your metadata quiz. Okay, so guys, if there are any questions, or if there aren't any questions, we can now start with those quizzes. But if there are, if anyone would like to just have a quick review, everyone, any questions on the different areas?
I think you've mentioned it earlier. Just want to confirm there's no elective currently for data architecture.
100%. They had that exam for a while and they just haven't published the exam. I think there's a bit of a quandary. I don't know about you, but lots of people were somewhat dissatisfied with the level of quality on the data architecture area. So and Veronica and I were part of reviewing the latest update to the data architecture, but we don't know what's happened to it.
Okay, great. So we don't have an expectation on when it will be available for us.
Oh, it's been we always keep on thinking that one day they're going to make the announcement, but I don't know.
Thanks,
It would
Al.
be nice. It would be nice. We'll shout and we'll make the announcement as soon as we know.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Any other questions? Thanks, Seni. I'm sure Mr. Bolton's off to the races. Okay, excellent. If you would like, then please continue with the quizzes. I'll actually just bring it up here. If you want to do the quiz and then ask us questions, that's also okay. So I'll hang around until just after 5 our time, or just top of the hour. Let me see how we're doing. Let's see how the results are coming in. Okay, we got a few. Mr. Raj. He's always there. He's always keen. Nice one, Raj. 93%, 100%, 93%. Raj has finished already. I think he got there before Paul. So these ones are a little bit weak. So Veronica and I are busy working with a set of master data level questions for this, and we'll give you an announcement and we'll map it to the categories. So thanks, Tini.
Howard, this is Raj here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Raj.
Okay, I just wanted, once again, I sent a note to Debbie, but I wanted to convey my thanks to you, Veronica, and everyone involved. I cleared my fundamentals exam over the weekend.
What was the score?
89.
Hey, well done.
And thanks to you, once again,
You must be so chuffed.
Yeah, I used your open book. So thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for the updates. Well done.
And I'll work with Debbie on that. She already sent me information on the specialist. I need to think through what works for me and the schedule.
Raj, what is your current role? If you'd like to, we can discuss it now. But I quite often I just help people make a decision on what's right for them. What's your current role?
I've been in the data management space focusing on master data for last 14-15 years. Right now,
master data.
I work.
Okay.
Yeah, I work as a data quality manager for Workday.
Okay. So you doing the data quality and master data, and I would even recommend that you do the data governance. That would be fantastic. So probably if you're in the quality now, do the data quality and then do master data and then do data governance.
Yeah, these are the 3 areas which I have thought about to start with.
Yeah, and
But the only thing is, I heard the quality and governance, it's only in January next, right?
No, I believe, Debbie, if you can help, I believe quality is part of this in September.
October, first week of October.
Sorry, October.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'll work with Debbie then.
Fantastic. So we do, Raj, a group group 1 for data governance and data quality, 3 days data governance, 2 days data quality. So that's a 1 week. And you can get those 2 out. And then master data is I think it's a 3-day, 4-day, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Dumi's there, Tini, Jonathan. Nice. Well done, guys. Tini. Enjoy your day. It's your weekend now. Have a lovely weekend. Bolton, I'm assuming you're going great guns. Or need any help? So remember, please, that you can do the quiz repeatedly, and it gets easier as you go. It's a nice thing to get the 100%. Okay. Mr. Bolton, he got his 80% for data warehousing. Mashallah.
But from where I've come from, I should get way more. Jeez.
I didn't want to say that, but all right. Great, everybody. You can keep on going. If you have any questions, please give us a shout. Happy to do it on LinkedIn or even on this course. So you can, the fact that you registered, you can have a discussion or a quiz, or you can send me a question and we'll help you. That will be great. Thanks,
Can I
Raj.
ask? Can I ask
Yes,
something?
do me. Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Can I? Not related to the quizzes, but to
That's
the
okay.
membership.
Yeah.
If that's. Yeah. Is there a website for members? Or where I can? I think it was shared maybe 2 weeks ago. I might have missed most of the content, but I'm a new member to DEMA Southern Africa, so
Okay.
I just wanted to know how I go about accessing all the resources that are applicable to members.
Sure. I'll need to check it out for you, Dumi. If you won't you just send me an email,
I'll send an
and then
email. Okay.
I'll check it out and get back to you. All right. Do you have my email?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay,
Thanks.
so thanks, man. Cheers, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend for those in Saudi and the UAE and the Gulf. And those who have Friday tomorrow, enjoy. Have a nice one.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Cheers to me.